So guys, thank you so much for meeting with me. I got a chance to meet with Alex and Graham yesterday to talk about the film. And I just wanted to jump into it with you guys. Thank you. I know what time of day it is, and we're all in vacation mode.
Like,
Yeah.
rubbing the sleeps from my eyes.
I know.
I've got the bed covering my hair.
So I am slobbering grateful. So much so, anytime we have guests of your magnitude on this podcast, we have to do the over the top intro before we start. Is that okay with y'all?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
All right. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, he is the pride of Piedmont High School's varsity fencing team. Go Highlanders, go. When he is not on stage or a screen making you feel every emotion possible, you may find him chugging a Red Bull and catching up on some New Girl episodes. Also, not to be outdone, this young lady right here, also from the Golden State of California, she plays Ava in the film Unfix, but when she even giving you the most passionate acting that you've seen this side of the equator, you may see her on set masquerading as a makeup artist, dancing at Playground LA, or holding a very exclusive concert for all of your favorite power pop songs right there in her car. And if you ask nicely, you may get some Jessie J.
Woo!
To the podcast.
All right. I love it.
I saw your face. I saw your face, Zane, and you mouthed the words. How does he know that?
This is research, I guess.
Like a wizard. Like, how do you know these things?
Wizard, Harry.
Yes. I mean, I did my homework because I wanted to talk to the people who made me and my wife, as we looked at the screener, feel everything in the movie Unfix. It went from, okay, we don't know what we're expecting. We read the notes, it's gonna be some heavy stuff. And then it was like, oh God. Yeah, it was. I'm wording my words very carefully because tonight is the premiere and I don't want to give anything away. But for you guys to channel all of those different things that I talk about with the filmmakers, how did that leave you guys? Did they give you a moment to decompress? Is there a cry room? Let me know. What's happening here?
You want to take it away, Zoe, first?
Sure. Well, I think what was most helpful for me in my experience with all this was the like really deep and genuine, honest bond that I had with Zane, Damon McInnes, and Noah Toth. Those are the four of us. We really were able to show up for each other and give each other support exactly the way that we needed it in that moment, whether we needed a moment alone or we needed a hug or like literally something, a hand on the shoulder, like just those small things to give that support needed in whatever capacity was needed in that moment. And I think without them, it would have been incredibly difficult. I mean, it was already difficult. I mean, dealing with the subject matter and those really highly intense scenes. And we shot that last thing all in one day.
Oh, yeah.
And it was brutal. Yeah. It was brutal, but it helped in a weird way. It was just like unrelenting.
They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing definitely there. It was that last day was absolute hell. And like Zoe was saying, we each were able to trust in each other, which made that even better. Emotionally we were able to kind of prep away from everything, which was nice. We were kind of able to get a moment to ourselves, and Graham and Alex were really great about that. Because you kind of have to get to those really, really dark places. So I mean, how do you do that around when the whole the crew and the cast, when everyone's working on the technical elements and stuff, you kind of just have to put yourself in a corner, maybe listen to some music. But when it comes down to it, nothing would come out of you if it weren't for like the other person. So it's all trust in the other person, really.
And it
Yeah.
shows. When I was talking to Graham and Alex a little before you guys, I think what we talked about is like we're opening with the not so delicate topic of conversion therapy.
Mhm.
And we are talking about conversion therapy, and I'm wording my words very carefully, not to give any spoilers or anything, but
Yeah.
that's already a delicate topic. And then to yourself, Zane,
Mhm.
it was applied wrong. And I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
With, yeah. So with that said, it seemed like you already had a burden coming into this. And then you have this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Just following behind you,
Just by yourself, you are already a wreck. And then we get into the most stressful time in recorded history, the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Ava is very how do I say excited about getting married, which
Mhm.
as a guy who rocks the ring, yeah, that's a stressful time too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is.
that's how the movie starts.
Right.
Yeah.
And then with that, now we got our new friends who just and I'm looking at it from your point of view. Wait, who are these guys? Like I just went to
Yeah.
run around the block, and then
And who are these guys too? Who are these
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
guys too?
exactly.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like not just who are these guys?
Yeah. These wise guys.
Yeah,
A whole other element. Yeah.
and
Right.
then from there, it seemed like everyone had a emotionally crippling secret
Yeah.
for the other three in the room.
Yeah.
And as the movie went on, the tension pop just now. I asked Graham and Alex this, and they didn't give me a straight answer. Maybe you guys know. Did they lose a bet to see how much drama can they cram in 90 minutes? Is it something that you guys are aware of?
It feels like that's true, right? It feels like that. I don't know. I'm not gonna like go on record and say yes, but it is. There were times when, honestly, in the pandemic, when I looked around, I'm like, could anything get any worse? Like, literally, just compiling and compiling and like all of these things, and so it's like it feels like a lot because it's crammed into 90 minutes and we're like digesting it that quickly. But if in the real world, like sometimes we look up and we're like, what? Like anything else, God? Like what else you
Yeah,
have for
really.
me? So I respect them for not being afraid of going there because I think a lot of filmmakers are afraid of it, being too much or over the top. But they're like, these are real issues that people deal with every day. And that maybe those of us who aren't so, that are more fortunate to not have to deal with things like this every day, just a look inside to what that's like for people. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it's all perspective. I mean, your hardest day is your hardest day, no matter who you are. So, I mean, for Ari, like in particular, like he had already gone, like you said, had already gone through so much already, and to have that added weight too. I mean, it's just
right.
adding more on to the dumpster pile that
Oh,
is
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
like,
It's just a raging fire at this point.
yeah.
Like the character Ari is he's good, and I don't know if these grays are showing you, but I grew up in that era, that the Jimmy
Mm.
Swagger 700 Club.
Mm.
I'm dating myself with every reference now that I think about it. But I grew up in that era where it was like pray it away, and it's all okay. Who needs science?
Yeah,
Just go pray it away.
right.
But as while I was speaking with Alex, his thing was about straddling the line of education and entertainment. Now, you guys knocked down the entertainment part. You kicked that door wide
Wow.
open. But the education part, you guys, did you know the extent of what conversion therapy can do, or the long-term effects while you're portraying these characters?
Oh, but like beforehand, I had no idea really what it was. Zoe and I going into this project, we didn't even have like a log line of it. We just kind of like got sides. So
Right. It's like,
we
here,
had
do
no
this
idea who it
scene.
was. And
Yeah.
then I forgot exactly when I found out, but I just remember like doing all this research on it, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that something like this is still legal. And then like going into the chemistry read, like trying to like understand it too. And there's like this particular scene where he has to kind of confront those issues to begin with. And it's like, oh, what would that be like going back there into the past? And I remember just like I was just like filling my brain up. I was just watching like YouTube videos, just watching like everything imaginable on conversion therapy, and what one has to undergo in something like that, and just trying to empathize with that as much as I possibly could, and feel like what that would be like in my shoes. And yeah, it's absolutely like heartbreaking. And I hope this film can reach out to those people, and people that don't understand it too, a
Yeah.
wider audience, and realize that this is a huge issue. And I mean, like, what was it Curtis was saying that somebody
Yeah.
handed him, what was it?
I was just going to mention that. So
Yeah.
we're partnered, Alex and Graham have partnered with Conversion Therapy Dropout Network, which is basically a safe haven for survivors of conversion therapy. And they had a joint booth at LA Pride. And Curtis on this is the representative from Conversion Therapy Dropout. And he was saying, he's like, a lot of people don't realize that it's still a thing. They don't know what it is, or they think it's not still a thing. Or they, it's like, oh, those are just, it doesn't really happen all that much. Like, what, we don't think it's really alive and well. And at LA Pride, they handed out one of the biggest most successful operating, from what I gathered that he said, conversion therapy camp essentially is in Orange County, right in California, where
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
exactly. And they were at LA Pride handing out these $1 trillion bills that like represent, I don't know if it's like a known thing in the community, if that's what that means, or if it's just a representation, like a thing for their conversion therapy. But they were handing them out to people at Pride. And to just be like, just know that these people are walking, like, just
Pride.
amongst us at Pride, where, like, what are you doing here? So I hope that this film, like, penetrates that barrier of people and tells people, like, and reminds them that this is still happening. And people are struggling with it, and it's really incredibly detrimental to
people continue
mental health.
to struggle with it too. I mean,
Right.
yeah. I was gonna give away. I don't want to give away anything, but
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to talk about this movie.
it's hard. Yeah,
It really is.
That was difficult.
I got notes, and I'm still,
I need to make notes. Yeah, I'm like,
But it's like, yeah, it's not something you get over, obviously, even with years and years and years and years of therapy. This is something that haunts you for the rest of your life. And there's good days and there's bad days, but yeah, once it has happened, it's really hard to get that out of your system.
Now, with I guess how you one thing I'm very interested in, because you guys hit it a little bit earlier, the chemistry read. Now, when you're jumping into something this deep, is there, or do you guys know what they were looking for, or was it because you better trust your partner with not even half the stuff you were dealing with, So
Yeah.
was it kind of like chemistry read? You guys, we need the best of the best of the best. Who can handle? Do they tell you something? Do they shoot your puppy right before you walk in? What do they do?
It's interesting, and Zane, I don't know if you remember because I don't remember because when I auditioned, it was the fall of 2021. So I'm like trying to recall back that far. And I don't believe we got a full script before that chemistry read. So we didn't know the entire story. We only had the sides that we were given from the audition, I believe. And it was a really interesting experience, you know. It's like you come in not knowing the full story. So as an actor, it's like, well, I need to create something for myself because I can't just be like, oh yeah, here I am, just popping in. You know, I gotta like create some backstory for something and then finding out what it really is about. But the chemistry read was really interesting. I had done one in October with a group of guys. I was the only woman, which was really cool. I was like, oh yeah. And then I was like, oh no, what if she's coming in another day? But so I did one in October, and then I did another one in, when was that, Zane? Was it November or the beginning of December where you guys did yours?
It was the beginning of December. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we found out in like January or something. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe end of November, beginning of December, I would say.
Yeah. So that's when I met Zane, Noah, and Damon. We all were at that chemistry read. And it was it's just something that's a little, you can't describe it. You can't really put your finger on it. It truly is.
Yeah.
It's like it's an instant, like you can just connect in the eyes. It's like you just see them through their work because I don't know them. You know, it's like we introduced ourselves, we did a little small talk, but you can just feel it through the work. And honestly, after that, after we knew that we were all like together, like we all got cast, I mean, we're all really good friends, which is like, okay.
So after that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And even so, after all that crazy
Exactly. I will
stuff,
hope so.
yeah.
Because it's like, you know, you hear these stories how people bond with each other in like one of the most traumatic experiences. Yep. Yeah, you guys did it. So
Yeah.
I'm very curious. Now I know tonight is the premiere, but you have any one of you guys sat into a screening just to kind of be in the back to see how people
No.
No.
In other films, for the other films,
I was talking
or
about
for
Unfix.
ours? Oh no, we haven't seen a lick. Not a thing. Well, we saw some
we
scenes.
saw some stuff. Yeah.
Some scenes, but like in terms of watching it from beginning to end, nope.
Okay. My follow-up question. Can you watch it from beginning to end?
I'll be in the back with some shots.
Yeah. I was like, I feel like Zane is gonna bring a flask and we're just gonna pass it around.
I will, yeah, I will. Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds about right because something like
it's
this,
gonna be a blast. Yeah,
I know it will, but I would be chomping at the bit just to see, hey, what you think about that? Yeah, and granted, I guess it's me. I saw it, and I want to say you guys did a phenomenal job. And to this point, I'm just gonna put it on Front Street right now. This is one of the hardest interviews I ever had for this reason, because I want to call you Zoe and Zane. I keep Ava and Ari. Like you guys are the characters. So like I'm referring, like while writing my questions down and getting my stuff together, I'm only referencing your characters. So when I say you were going through something, I mean, I know Zane and Ari is not the same person, but like you were going through it.
Yeah. I mean, going through something, to get yourself there for sure.
Yeah.
And both you guys. So that's what I'm saying. That is a feather in your cap. If you guys can, well, granted, I do this all the time, but you guys blur reality for me for a few hours where I'm just like, no, I already went through it. And by the way, I really wish she was my wife is a little camera shy. She watched it with me too. And that had some discussion afterwards. After the movie, we talked about it. We got into it a little bit. And she wants me to she did have me write this down. because she said there's no way she could talk to you guys without spoiling any part of the movie. She does have questions.
Can you
And-
imagine how hard it is for us?
Yeah.
Exactly. But she just wanted to extend her congrats to you guys because that was a good movie. And we said the same thing to Graham and Alex. Again, she didn't show up because she was like, there's no way any question I have will spoil this movie. That's something we're gonna have to do offline or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I just want to, give you guys her shout out to you guys. And like I'm done with my questions, but I want to do that. I want you guys to enjoy the premiere. Please enjoy it. You guys did a phenomenal job. And I just wish nothing but the best for you. Just load up that flask. Bring 2. Because
Let's go, Sam. Thank
It's
you
good.
so much.
one for
So
sorrow, one
kind.
for celebration. Because during
That's right.
it's some stuff in there.
Yeah.
Afterwards, once you shake it off and
That's right.
people
Have a
pat you on the
margarita,
back like me.
And
Yeah.
a taco, right?
There you go.
Definitely.
Eat a lot of bread. A lot of bread tonight.
That's
It's okay. You guys are welcome back to the podcast whenever you want. I just thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time just to gush on you and tell you how great of a job you did. And thanks so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Sam.
much,
Really
Sam.
appreciate it.
Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, man. Crush it at this premiere tonight, and we'll talk later.
Thank you.
you,
Yes,
Sam.
sir.
Talk later.
Right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, Zane. I appreciate you. I will see you tonight.
Okay.
right.